All right, you're welcome to the part four of building the Live app with Power Apps. We've done for in part one, we're able to create our landing screen. We're able to create our landing screen in part one. Then in part two, we're able to build our employee dashboard with which has the requests or the total number of requests, leave requests that has been created, and also the status of each request. Then in part three, we're able to create the new request form, and we also what's it called, we also linked the different screen together. So I was thinking, instead of we having what's it called, instead of we having this log out button here, it should be back. We should change it to back so that it will take us back to the dashboard. You can rename it to back. Then also, instead of navigating, we can just comment this out and use the back function. I can comment this out, then go up and type. There's a function called back. That back function takes you back to the screen you came from. So this is back. So I'll publish. So if you're just joining, you can just try and watch the part one and part two, so you would understand how it will guide you on how we got to these points. So if I play this now, let me cancel. So now let me log out. So if I log out, it brings me to the landing screen. Remember when I said this is just showing us the art of the possible. We can actually you can customize this to suit your business need. This is just a test application. We're just playing around, not playing around. We're just building a basic lift app, and the colors, they can be changed, or you can change it to suit your business, probably your company's team. Yeah, so that's the right word. So as an employee, you can click here. When you click as an employee, it brings you to your dashboard. You can see you've raised, the different requests you've raised, and also their status. So the different requests you've raised and their status. The first one is pending. The second one is approved. The third one is pending. So in the last session, we're able to, once you click on this new request button, it takes you to this form. We created this form in our last session. So now this is the back button. Once I click on this back, it takes me back here. So that's what the back does. All right, so the next thing we want to do is, once you click on this view button, it should take you to a view screen where you can view detail of your request. To achieve that, it won't take us much time because we already have our new form. So we'll just duplicate that form and add few formulas. All right, so let's get started. So for that, I would go to my new form. So we are not going to be creating the view screen from scratch because we already have this screen. So if you don't know how we got to this point, you can go back to the part 3 and part 2 so you can get a clue on how we're able to build this form. So I'll just be duplicating this screen here, so you don't have to start building it from scratch. So I'll duplicate this, and once it gets duplicated, we just rename it to view request screen or view detail request screen. So it depends on how you want to, your naming convention. So it has duplicated for us. It takes some time to spin up. It has already duplicated just for. So we'll just be doing little customization here, and also for the manager's dashboard, we'll still be duplicating. We'll just be duplicating, so we don't have to. I had to break it down so it doesn't take a very lengthy time, so we can actually understand in chunk. All right, so this is the duplicated screen. So what you have to do here is just rename this to view request screen. View request screen. I'm calling it view request screen. So this is it. So we'll now go to our form. Would go to our form. You change the mode to edit. So we are changing the mode of our form to edit. Then also this is now form 2 underscore 1. Then we change the text here. Instead of new request form view, we can call it view. Let's say view. Either you call it leave form. Let's call it leave form. All right, so view leave form. So I want to copy the name of this screen, so I would navigate to this point. Control C. So what we're going to do is we'll come back to the employee dashboard. So the aim is to, on click of this button, we want to navigate to this view request screen with the selected item. So how to do that? You just click on this, the first button on your gallery, the first button here. You can see currently it is set to false. So you just see, we'll be setting a variable. We can say set. We want to let's call it selected. I'll call it selected item. So you can call it this item. You can say this item. You can say this item. Then I'll still show you other way to go about it. Then you navigate to the screen you want to go to. So you say navigate. So the screen we are navigating to is this view request screen. Then you see what's it called? Cover. So other way to do this, you can say, let me copy this out, Control C. Let me paste it here. Let's do it. You can say, instead of going, you can say look up. What's the name of our list? Is it leave? Okay, this is the name of, you look up this where ID is equal to this item dot ID. So what is the error here? Look up this. All right, so we need to close. We are using lookup. This opening braces. This one is closing here, so we need to close this one here. So you can see our error has gone. So you're looking up into your list where the ID is the selected item dot ID. So that's what we are doing. So I'll just copy this formula. So if you don't want to go this route, you can just say selected item. You can just say selected item equals to this item. It's very simple. Anyone you want to. Let me write it again. Let me just say I want to copy this one. So the first thing we did before, you can say this, comma, this item. So anyone that feels better for you, this is it. Selected item equals to this item. It will select the particular item you select. Then you navigate to the screen you want to go. So if I play the app, if I play my app and then click on this, you can see it will select currently. So it's an edit form. So I'll go back to my form, and also you click on the form, then go to the item of your form. So you now go to the item. So the item of your form, you now paste this. No. You now say, you paste. Remember, we set a variable on select on the employee dashboard. We call it selected M. So we are going to use it here. We now say this item of this one will be look up. What's the name of our leave? Our list is leave this. The condition is where ID. We are trying to look up to where the ID is equals to this variable we set. Control C. Paste it here. Dot ID. Then close. So once you do it like this, it will select the particular item. Remember, on employee dashboard, this is what we did. On this button, we said selected M, we declared a variable. This is the global variables. We say selected item is equal to, you look up the list, or you say this item, then you navigate. So when you navigated to that your form, we navigated to this, then we have to also set the mode of our form to edit. All right, this is the mode. So just like what we did with, let's go back to employee dashboard. Just like when we click on the new request, it sets the mode of the form to new form. So when we click on that button, it should also set the form to edit. So we need to get the name of our form there. So this is view form, view screen. Then I'll go to the form, this form 2_1, Control C. Then I'll go to dashboard, employee dashboard. So once we click on that button, we also, before we navigate, we are setting the mode of the form. Say edit. So this is the form. So let's try it again. So once you select, it's not displaying the selected item. Let's confirm if our selected if this selected, oh, I see why. All right, I see why. You can see it has selected the item. So if I play, let's go back. So if I view, you can see the item we selected, the leaf type is vacation. So if I go back again, let's go to this one. The leaf type is casual. So if we select this, you can see the leaf type is casual. So if you notice, the casual is is down red. So you can see this one is centered. So you just play with the padding. You can just take it out. You just the padding left top and we just go to the padding top and bottom. We can see 5, and the okay, padding top is, oh, no wonder. We are giving it a padding top and bottom of 5. So then left, we are giving it 12. So you can see. So this is the display form. We don't need this button here. So you can, if you don't want to, you can just hide it. So if you don't want to take it out, just hide. You can just turn off the visibility. You turn it off, so you will not. So the button has been hidden. Then if you want the status to also be visible here, you can just add the extra column, status column, but we are not doing that. So remember, this is an edit form, and if a user is coming to view this, we don't want the user to play with what we already have. The user can just click on this and still edit. No, we don't want it. So the next thing is just to the display mode of this. Either you set it to view, or you set it to disabled. So display mode dot disabled, or let's give it dot view and see dot view. So let's play it and see how it looks. Let's work with disabled. So we give it a disabled border color. So display mode dot disabled. So you now come down here. You select this, the data card value. Now scroll down. If you're using a classic form, it has a disabled color. Disabled border color. Let me check if I can see anything. let's see, border. If you're using a classic form, you would see disabled border color. So let's check. The font color is white, so let's make it black. Alright, so you do the same thing for these other ones. Let's play and see. So you do the same thing. Display mode. Okay, display mode of view. So let's check this play mode dot disabled. You just do the same thing for. Alright, so display mode dot font color, making it black. So you just do the same thing so that the user cannot change what is already there. You just go to do that, just display mode dot view. Let me just copy it. Same thing here. So you just do the same thing, display mode dot view. Same thing here, display mode dot view. So we are done from here. So we are good. So I'll just publish my application. So the next thing is I think we are done with the user end. So if I go back, so as a user, I can view. I can view. Then you can go back as you can view. So we are done with it. So the next thing is just to work on the, if I log out now, so as a user, I can come in, I can request for new leave, I can take request for leave, submit, I can go back. So the next thing is to work on the manager's part. So the managers can come in, can make an approval, can view and make an approval, can approve or reject. So we'll be doing that in this session. All right, without wasting much time. So we'll just be duplicating the same. We'll be duplicating this employee dashboard. We'll just duplicate this dashboard, but you can also, since it's beginner, I don't want to just combine everything. We can filter this gallery. If your role is manager, show all the item that is pending on you. We can do it like that, but since this is a beginner friendly video, I just want to break it down. So we'll be creating multiple screens. If not, we would have just used this particular screen and add a logic to show that if you're a manager, if you're logged in as a manager, show the request that is pending the manager's action. And once you click on this view button, it will take you to the views to view the request, and you make those buttons, the approval buttons, visible. So we can do that. That is, if you're a manager and you come here, we can make use of the same dashboard. But when you click this, it takes you to this point. It takes you to the view screen, and on the view screen, currently there are two buttons here, but they are hidden. So those buttons can be visible if you are a manager. So that way you can minimize the screen you're using. So, but since this is a beginner friendly tutorial, I'll just be breaking it down so we can all flow along. So the next thing is I'll be duplicating this for the manager. So I'm not creating it. If you want to see how we create, go to the second video. You would see how we're able to. So if I duplicate, go to duplicate screen, so it gets duplicated. So now we'll be adding a approve and reject button on that part. So you duplicate it and you call it manager's dashboard. Yeah, you duplicate and you call it manager's dashboard. So let's give it some seconds so it gets duplicated. Alright, it has duplicated but still loading, so please wait a little. Alright, it has duplicated. So now I want to move it down. Okay, so this is what we have here. So we'll name it, let's call it managers instead of employee. We'll name it manager dashboard. Alright, so manager's dashboard. So we want to change. So in yours, you can, instead of having this, we can choose to add a text, a search box here for the manager, so the manager can search by status, end date, and all that. So we can choose to do that. This is a text label. This is a text label, most recent requests. Let me try and reduce the width. Alright, so I want to add another container. So I was just thinking, probably a search, so you can search. So I'm thinking of doing that, adding another container inside of this so we can search. So to do that, it's actually a bonus. So, but let me just add it. We can add it. I want to build the search control. So I'll be using a container to do that. So container. So turn off the flexible width, then give it a width. Let's say 300, for instance. Let's say 350. So the height, once the height, then the heights, we want to make it 40. You can see, we want to so this is all right, this is the we were trying to build our search control, but since this is inside a container, if I add the search control, it will work. But if you want to add a button, that's where the issue will come. So let me cut this. So before adding that, I want to add another container, another responsive horizontal container. So go to insert container. First of all, I want to add a horizontal container before adding that. So turn off the flexible width, then give it a height of parent.height. So we want to set the height to assume the parent height. So parent.height, we make the height parent.height. Parent.height. So now we can reorder it to the middle. So now inside of this, I will now paste the non-responsive container. First of all, let me take out the border radius. The border, we are setting it to none. we also setting this to none. So inside of this, I'll just paste this. So I want to, so now we can give this a border radius of let's say we want to make it 10. Then the border wants it to be 0.1 solid. So if I play this, you will see what we have so far. This is it. We want to build a search box. So let me reduce the width of this. Let me make it 280. All right, this is it. So then the border color is black. So if I play this is what we have. We have new, and so we want, so the next thing is to add a text input to this so that you can type inside of it. I'm thinking of reducing the height to 35. All right, so inside of this, this is a non-responsive container. So inside of this now, I want to add a text input so that the user can type or the manager can type. So I'll just, inside of this, I'll click on insert, then text input. This is the text input. So we'll now set the width to be parent or width. So it will take the width of its parent container. Instead of having a static value, you say parent.width. You do the same thing for the height. Height should be parent.height. Parent.height. So if we play this, you can see what we have. So you can see the border. We can take out the border. So the border, it will assume the border of the container. So I will just click on this. So the border, you go to border, you just check for the border and set it to none. Okay, this is border is 2 currently. I'm setting it to none. Border radius 0. It will assume the border radius of the parent container. Then the disabled fill, you can call it transparent. Then the hover fill, custom color, we can set it to bring it down. Then I think what else again? Hover border color. Hover border color. Since it's assuming the border of the parent container, so then we also go to the hint text, the default. So I'll take it out. So you can see if I play this is what we have. So you can type. So you can also set padding left and right, so you can be on this, the text can be in the center of it. You can go to the padding left and padding top and bottom. Okay, we have 6 left is all right. So our search, this thing is ready. So you can add a button if you want. You can add a button. So if I like, I'll just copy this button here, copy, then come here to this container here and paste it, then reduce the width. What is the width of our button? Then we can give it a border. We want to make the border color .black. I didn't plan to do this, but it just came up, so we can .black. So Then I want to give gap, a little gap, so that there can be space between. So if you want, you can make the fill of these buttons to be our primary fill. If you want it to be more pronounced, you can go to the fill. You can come here and check for field. If search for fill, then you make it. There's a color. I call it primary color, so you can see it. Then you can change the text color to white, so that you can go to the color property and change it to white. I will now change what we have there to, instead of logout, we now change it to search. So let's preview what we've done. You can see. So this is, if you want on hover, you still have to maintain your primary color. You can still do it. You just go to the button. Same thing. You go to your button. You go to, this is the press color. Then the hover fill. When you hover, after you change it here, then the color when you are hovering, it should be white. So if we play this now, you will see, you can see how our button is looking. So you can always customize this to meet your business need. So now the next thing is to just add the formula, so that everything can, I think there's a formula in our item. First of all, before we use that formula, the name of our control is the text input one. I'll just copy it, then we'll come back here. I've copied text input one, then go here. So instead of just filter leave request, we want to filter. Let me take us to on start. App on start of our application. Let me show us what we have there. We declared a variable. We called it clear collect co-leave. Then we added the name of our data source is leave request. So that is it. Then the primary color. This is the primary color that I'm using. This is the color here. Then this carousel, we are not using it on the leave app. I used it for one other application. So this is where the co-leave is coming from. So I'll now come here. Then I'll comment this out. Then I'll explain this formula. So this is saying if we are checking. So what we have now is text input one. If text input one is blank, they return the entire co-leave, which is the entire leave. S filter co-leave. Then we are formatting the date. I'm using created dates here instead of, let's call it created. It's a SharePoint column for dates. We can search by dates. Then start with incident. This one is status. We are using status. Then which other column? Let's check leaf type. Okay, we can filter by leaf type. Leaf type dot value, because it's a choice column. So what we are saying is this text input one is what we are using here inside as our search control. So we are now saying if that is not blank, We are now saying if it is blank, return the entire code leaf. S, then you do your filtering. Filter code leaf where created date starts with what is in this text input one, which is what is in our search control, or it starts with what is in our status, or start with what is in our leaf and value. So I'll just copy this formula and put it here on select of this button of our search. On select. So I'm just pasting the formula. Okay, we already have it here. So if you want to do this so that as the person is typing, as the manager is typing, it will just be searching. You just go to on change of that text control. On change of this text input one, we look for the unchanged property. On change. So on change, do this. Currently it is false. We are pasting that formula. We are now saying if text input is not blank, then return. If it's blank, return this S. Do the other stuff. So let's play this and see. So I want to search by pending. If I type in pending now, you can see it returns to item. So if without clicking the search button, then if I type approve, you can see. So this is what on change can help you do. So we've dwelled a lot on this. So the next thing is just when you click on this, navigate to a screen. So we don't want to build more screen. So I will just be navigating you to that same user's employee view screen. But this time around, if you are a manager, that's the approve and reject button will be visible. So that's the logic we are going to tweak still. All right. So let's go back. So the next thing is this place. Remove this from preview. So this button now. So on click, okay, we are selecting. Okay, we are doing this. Navigate to view request. We are still using that view request screen, but this time around we're going to be hiding. We are going to be making the approve or reject button visible, container visible if you are the manager. All right. To do that, we just go back. So first of all, let's navigate to this screen as a manager. Copy this manager screen. I'll copy Control Z, Control C. Then come to landing page. Then come to this manager button. Then navigate to so this time around we want to navigate to the manager's screen. Set dot cover. I hope you understand. So if I play this, it takes me to the manager screen. If I log out, if I click this as an employee, it takes me to the employee screen. You can see there is no search box here. If I log out, come here as a manager, it takes me to the manager screen. Then if I remove this, you can see all the items are here. All right. So the next thing is just, so once I click on view, you can see it takes me to this same screen here. So but what we want to do is, as a manager, once I come here, it will give me that button will be approve and reject button will be visible so that I can make an approval. So to do that, I'll just come back here. Remember, there's a container down here. There's a container. Let's look for that container. Submit container. This is the container. So let's make it visible. I want to turn on the visibility. I want to turn it on. So I want to change the text to approve and reject. So if it's manager, what the manager will be seeing is approve, or reject. So we have to tweak the visibility of this container. so that if it is what's it called, if you're logged in as employee, for instance, this will be hidden. Yes, it will be visible. So to do that, let's go to our on start. And remember, as a manager, there's going to be a comment box here where you can add comments, or there's going to be a comment box. So I was thinking of doing a pop-up, but that would take much time. So, but there's a video where I did pop-up. You can just click on, instead of having submit, this is approve. So once you click on the approve button, a pop-up comes up and like, are you sure you want to approve? So, but I will not be doing that here. Maybe in the advanced one, we're going to integrate the approve and reject action, because I think this video is getting long. So to quickly show you that, we need to add a button, a control here, which will be for comments, the manager's comment. So I think I need to create that quickly. I go to my data, then leave request, then open it, so that I can add a column, a multi-line of for comments. Currently we don't have it, so I'll just include it. I'll just add a column and call it managers managers comment, multi-line of text, call it manager comment. So you save. So now go back to our application. So come back here. So I want to refresh the data source and add that manager's comment. So let's refresh. So we'll be adding back that extra column, which is the manager's comment. That's refreshed. So I'll just click on the form, add it, click on add field, search for manager comment. So you add it. So this is the column here. So we want to resize it, make it, give it the height of 150, just like the other one. Then give it the border. Want to give it the border radius, font size, want to make it 17, and border, want to make the border 0.1, color black, vertex solid. So I'm looking for the border radius. So border radius, we want to make it 10. So if you play this, this is what we have. So let's change the mode of this form to be multi-line. So once I click on this, go to mode, change it to multi-line. Then you can also unlock this data card, so that we can rename just like we did for the others. You can see parent, you can for the spacing, manager comments. All right, so I think so I want to publish. So yeah, we are getting somewhere. So how do we know if the logged in user is manager? So that's the next thing we are going to do. So remember, when employee name, there's no place where the logged in, there's no place where the user is selecting manager on our form. That would be a problem, because what I mean is, on our new form, for instance, there should be a place where you are selecting the manager, so that we can tie the request to. All right, so this is it. On new request, That will be the issue. You have to select your manager. So I'll add an extra column for manager here so that when you're filling your request, you will just add a manager. So when you're filling this, so let's add that column first of all. Call it manager. So you have to select a manager when the column type is going to be a person column. We just name it manager. I'll save it, come back to our application, then refresh our data. So when you refresh, you will just add it to this form just like I did for the other one. So okay, so you just go to edit. So we want to add manager. So we want to resize it just like we did for others. We'll make it 55. We give it a padding left 12. The border radius should be 10. Font size 17. Border should be 0.1 black. So the same customization we did, you just do it for this. Just add it solid, then border radius we are making it 10. Then you come to this same control, you come to edit so that you add it display field. What to be add, then you cancel. So when you play, so new form, you can select manager. So with this you can select, when you're submitting, you can submit manager. All right, so having done this, so I want to publish again so that always remember to save and publish. So the next thing is to write some logic, so that will help us to know when a manager is when you are a manager or not. All right, so to do that I'll just come on start of my application. Let me push this one down right. So we want to look up to this collection. So what we'll do is we'll say we want to set a variable set. I want to call it is manager. I'm calling it is manager. Then set, you want to close this, then go down. This is where the logic. So I want to look up. First of all, I want to look up to this list, this collection. I want to look up into it. Control C. I want to look up into this. Then what do I want to check? If the logged in user, there's a function called user function dot email. You can put this inside lower. Control X. Then there's a function. There's a function called lower. This would it will convert this value to lower. So the same thing is equal to, remember on our list there's a column called manager. There's a column called manager, and it's a people column dot email. So what we'll do is I'll copy this. So since we are comparing it, we'll still use lower. So I'll paste this one, then close my lookup. So you can see we don't have error. But if you leave it at this will be returning record, a table. And so we want it to return boolean, true or false. So so I'll just copy this. Control X and is. close this and paste, then put this thing here. I'll put not negation. So I hope you understand what I just did here now. Let's format this. So let me show you what I did. Now, I said we set a variable, call it is manager. Any record, it will return this is not blank, will return true or false. If I run this on start, it will return false because currently there is no manager. So let me run it on start and let's see what is manager is returning. It's returning false because currently there is no manager on the list. So what this thing is checking, he said look up co-leaf, which is our request list, then where the logged in user is the same thing, is equal to manager.email. Remember, we created the column and called it manager. So once you're submitting, you're adding a manager and it's a person or people column, which we pick the display name, the email and department and other records. So we are saying look up and return that value. Then we're now saying if it's not blank, that means if it has value, then it is true. Else, it is false. So we'll now copy this. So if the person is manager, we want to use this now to play with the visibility of that of this container here. Remember this approval, this container, we said we'll be tweaking it. So the visibility now, we'll now go to the visible property of this container, then visible. Instead of setting it to true, it will only be true if it is manager. So we'll put it like this. You see it is false. Then this one also, we want to play with this one. The comments, we don't want to take it out, but we want to tweak the display mode. So if the person is a manager, the display mode of this will be edit, else it will be view. So that if you are a user and you click on this, it will still be there, because if you just put it on the visibility of this, it will be only the manager that is seeing it. So but this time around, we want to play with the display mode of this, so that if you're a user, it will be view, and if you're a manager, you can edit it. So come to the display mode. Once you come to the display mode, instead of just saying, we'll now use if condition. We'll now say if, remember this thing is manager, that means if his manager is true, it should be display mode dot edit s display mode dot view. So that's a simple logic here. We are saying if the person is a manager, it should be editable, else it should be view. So let's do this. So now remember, we have approve and reject button. So I play this. So let's try and see. It will not go back because I did not come from that screen. So let's start from the beginning. Alright, so we are spending much time here, but then let's just try and round it up in this session. So as an employee, if I come here, I can see all the requests that I created. Then if I come here, I can view the comment. You can see this is view. I cannot do anything. Then I go back, then log out. Then as a manager, if I come in, the same thing, I come here, you can see the mode of this one. The mode of this should be edit. Oh, I'm not a manager currently, so that's why. I'm not a manager. There's no manager currently, so that's why everything is false. So if we, for instance, we just quickly go to our list, the first item on our list, so let's make it, let's make myself, I want to make myself the manager for the first request. So you see what I mean, Godwin. So I want to make myself for the first request. You can see you will see the difference. So let's go back to the app. Let's take this out. Let's refresh our data source. Refresh. So once we refresh, then you come on start, then run it on start. So you see what I mean. Remember, the first request has a manager, so you can see that button is now visible, and I am the manager. So let's go back. So let's log out. So the contradiction or confusion that will be here because I'm using a single account to test this, so it will be a little bit complicated. So so as a user now, as an employee, if I click here, you can see here it is editable now because I am the manager. It is editable. But if I remove myself as a manager, these buttons will not be here. But since I'm using a single account, it's going to be, for you that is a beginner, I just hope you understand. So for instance, if I remove myself as a manager now, this column will be view. I cannot add anything. And this approve and reject would not be there. So that's where the tweaks come with the formula, with the logic. So the next thing is we want to approve. So once you click on approve, you approve. So do that. I can come on this, on select of this button now. We want to patch to our data source. We want to say patch. We use patch function. Then I think the name of our data source, leave request. Then you put condition. So we want to look up to our list. Look up to leave request. I think where ID is equal to selected. Remember we set a variable selected item dot ID. This is the condition. Then so you can be seeing the hint. Then now look up data source, the record you're looking up to, then you can now update. So I want to now do my updating. So let's format this. So we are looking up to our list where we are saying patch to this list where the ID is equal to this item, selected item dot ID. Then what are we patching? We want to patch update the status, the column we want to update. Status, I think status. We are saying status. We are saying we should update it to value. Status is a choice. Updating a choice column, you say you use value. Say value. What is the value? Setting it to approved. I think here. Then we want to also add comment. This comment. We also want to patch this comment. So data card value 1. This one here. Let me be very sure. Let's go to view. Managers comments. Alright, it's data card value 1. So I'll now go to the approve button again. Then to add more, you do comma. Now manager comments will be now this one dot value. Since we are using what's it called, a modern form, we are to be dot value. But if you're using a classic form, it will be dot text. So if you format this, you're good. So what we are saying, we are patching. This is the name of our list. Then the condition is look up to this list where ID. We want to pick that particular item. We want to update that particular item. Now we're updating selected item m.id. Then what we are saying, update the status to approve and then manager comments to this. So for the rejection, we just copy this same and then it's the so for rejection you copy the formula and paste. So this time around, instead of approve, the value will be rejected. Then navigate. So this time around we are navigating to manager's dashboard. So I'll just copy the same thing for the approval. So it's very simple. We are saying patch, update, patch this, where this is equals to this. We are updating the status to approve, then the value, the comment will be what we have here. So for rejection, we do the same thing. So having done this, we can now publish. So you can choose to have another button here, which will be to cancel. If you don't want to perform any action, you just cancel it. If you don't want to perform any action, you can just go back, or we are not adding any other button. So I think with this, the application is ready. We are good to go. We can now make, so let's start from scratch and we are good to go. So let's me go from the landing page. So I want to remove myself as the manager, so you can see where that its manager comes to play. So let's go back to our list. So I want to remove myself. So you can see there's no manager. I'm using just one account to test. So I just hope you understand the logic here. So if I go and refresh my data source, I want to refresh my data source. So once I refresh and play, it's still refreshing. Once I refresh this, then run my app on start. So once I run my app on start, let's start from beginning. We'll go to our landing screen. So as an employee, once I click on here, I can see the already created. So let's work on this, the filter here. So currently the item is just this. So I want to update the filter. I'll Control S. Filter. I want to filter this leave request where they created by. There's a column called .email is equal to current, user. I want to user. So we are personalizing this. So with this, where you say filter this list where created by .email is equals to the logged in user. So this would personalize. So if employee A comes into this application, it will filter this gallery by the request employee A created. If employee B comes to this application, it will filter the request by the request employee B created, and so on and so forth. So that's the beauty of this filter. So you can also do sorting. If you want to sort it according to when it was created, you can sort it by the ID, or you can sort it in ascending order or descending order. Let's try and do that. Control X. Let's go with sort. I'm sorting this. I think is it by ID also? Then you want to sort it by ascending order, so you can see what we have. But if you want to set it by the created date when it was created, you can also sort it. So we are sorting this by ID and we are sorting it ascending order. If we change it to descending order, it will start from 3-1. Let's go descending. It will start from, you will see, start for 3, 2, 1. So you can also sort it by when it was created. So so that you can be seeing the recent request on top. So you just do it to suit your business need. So let's just still go with ascending order. So I can now publish. So we have come to the end of this session, and I hope you learned a lot. So, but before I call it a day, let's see what we've been able to achieve and how the functionality works as the manager. So I removed myself as a manager, and before I forget, please, if you derive value from this, remember to hit the subscribe button, like and comment and share. All right. So for the landing page, once again, as an employee, you can come here to see your already created request, the status of your request, and also to view. You can view it. You can view it, and you can also go back to can view, see the manager's comment if there is one. You can go back. You can create a new request. If you want to submit a new leave request, you can fill it, add a manager, submit. So you can also do some form validation. You can see currently nothing is filled and our button is clickable. So to avoid that, we can make some. So if you don't fill your manager, it will be disabled. So you can just come to the display mode of these buttons, and let's copy this. So at least for you to submit this, you must fill something. So we can come to the display mode of this, click on it, then go to display mode. Display mode. Instead of it being edit, we'll now say if, we'll come to if is blank. If this dot value dot selected. So if it's a, what's it called? If it's a classic form, it will be dot selected dot value. But for a, what's it called, modern form, it just dot selected. If it is blank, or let me just copy this, Ctrl C. Or if you must select leaf type, so you just do it. You just anyone that you want it to be compulsory, you just add them. What did I copy? Leaf type. If it is blank, display mode dot disabled. S display mode dot edit. So let's go down and see where we are having, where is the error coming from. Okay, we'll do the same thing. So we'll just copy this and do the same thing here. So we are saying if the manager is blank and if you did not select the leaf type and manager, we should disable. The user should not be able to submit or do anything. So until you select, for instance, if I select, let's play this. If I select manager and select leaf type, you can see it is now editable. So we'll still do the same thing for the approval screen. Let's go to the view screen where the manager wants, if there is no comment, the approval button should be disabled. There is a button here. It's not visible since I'm not the manager, but let's go here. So the button here, want to come here, go to the display mode. So I want to paste this. So this time around, we are looking at this. I'll copy this one, Ctrl C. Come here. And edit this one. dot value. Since it's a modern control, it's value. So we are just saying so we are saying if this is blank, it should be disabled. S, it should be edit. Control C. I'll just paste it for the other button also. Display mode. So for the manager to approve, he must add comments. So that's what it means. So with this, we can test our application from end to end. So now, this is, we don't have any manager assigned to any request. So let's see the behavior of our application when we don't have manager assigned. So scroll up. I want to go back to our landing page so we can start from scratch. So if I play this, you can see as an employee, if I want to create, I can view my already initiated leave. You can see the status, those that have been approved and all that. So I can create new requests. So as I can create, cancel, and it should be, you can see these buttons are not disabled because our form did not, we did not submit, and it did not we did not reset our form. So that is why it is like that. So you can say on this reset form. So after submitting form, go to the submit, on select of this button. So after submitting it, you can say reset form 2. The name of our form is form 2. So when anytime you submit this form, reset it. That's what it means. So let's publish again. So we'll do an end-to-end test before we can now call it. So if you want any other application that you would want me to show you how we can build, you can drop it on the comment box so we can build together. And if you've not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Also comment, like, and share if you are deriving value from this. All right, so having done this, you can see we can go back. Then if you want to view, you can see what you're just seeing is just the manager's comment. But if I add myself as a manager and I come here, that button, you will see those approve and reject button, it will be visible. You see, currently there's no manager assigned to any of those requests. So if I go back and log out and come in as a manager, log out, come in as a manager, you can see I can filter by the status when it is pending and all that. So I can, as a manager, I can view. If I click on view, you can see currently I am not assigned as a manager. So it is not, the buttons are not visible. But if I go and create a new request now and add myself as a manager, that button will become visible and I can do approve and reject. So before, okay, let's me log out. So let's create a request together. This is new requests. Then so you can also make it once you are logged in, as it will just pick the login user. You don't have to type it. So you can do that. And you can also do some validation. If you choose a date that is lesser than today, it will flag an error, or your button will be disabled. All those, you can do those validation. So you cannot select a date that is less than today. And the end date must be greater than the current date. So you can do those type. We'll still leave this at, let's call it casual leave. We can call this testing now. Let's call this testing now. Then the manager, I want to put the manager. Don't know why I'm not seeing. My name is not showing. The account I'm using is not coming up, unless I'll have to update it on the list. So I'll just take note of this request. I'll update it manually on the list. And my name is not coming up. I don't know. I'll have to check why. So I would submit. Remember, this is testing now. When you submit, so you can choose to add notify on success. You notify your request has been submitted, blah blah blah. You can see the request we created, Alex, then it's pending. Now, if I log this out and come as a manager, I would not see it. This is Alex. This is it. So if I come, I am not the manager, so the buttons will not. You can see everything is the same thing, and this is not editable because I'm not the manager. But if I go back to the list and refresh and update that manager part to my name and come back to the application, you would see. So if the manager that is, you can see for that part, the last request, the manager is business this. If I log in with that account, I don't have the credential. If not, if I log in, you will see that approve and reject button. So I want to change it to my name, my own account, which is Godwin. So Godwin, this is my. So if I exit it, it did not update. So let me be very sure that. Okay, Godwin. Godwin. All right, so I've added my. Why are you doing this? Let me refresh and see. So let me refresh and see. So I'll be very sure. Um, did not update. So let me update. I want to edit it to my. Remove it and Godwin. From the application, my name is not coming up from the Active Directory. So I don't. So now it has updated. So I can come back to the application, refresh my data source, and if I go as a manager, I can now approve and reject. So let's refresh this. So run on starts, come back to the landing page. So if I proceed as a manager here, this is the last request. It is pending, and so until you add comments, approved by Godwin. Let's say Godwin. So let's just use this. Why are you not? Let's check on our. Let's be very sure the name of this comment. Data card value 1. Control C. Alright, it is it. So now approved by Godwin. So approved by Godwin. So if I click on approve, and one thing to make your application real time, when you approve, you refresh. We did not refresh, so you will see that updates will not happen real time. So after approving, after you click on the approving, refresh. So if I go back again, it will still allow me to approve. So which is a bad experience. We can just, you can say, instead of the display mode, we can now play with the display mode of the button. We can now say if this one is blank, it should be disabled, or we want to add or. Remember, there's a variable called selected item dot status dot value is equal to approved. If it is equal to approve, or if selected then the status is equal to approve. Why are you? If this is this, oh, this is where the mistake is coming from. Copy this. Yes. So if this yes, so this is where we're adding it. We'll now add another or here. Or the request has been approved. Then it should be, or the request has been rejected. Or the request has been rejected. I will explain what I did here. So what we said is, if the comment box is empty, this button should be disabled. Or if the request has been approved, you cannot approve a request that has been approved, it should be disabled. Or if the request has been rejected, you cannot approve a request that has been rejected, it should be disabled. So we'll do the same thing for this one also. We'll just paste it. So if you run your, then also when you're approving, remember, just like what I pointed out, remember to refresh your data when you approve, after approving, so that it will give you a real time on select. After performing your action, you refresh, you say refresh. So you refresh data source. Then also clear collect. You update your collection, which is co-leave. So this will give you a real-time update. Whenever you perform an action, you refresh your list, then your collection that you're using also, you too do a refresh. So I'll do the same thing here on select. So it will give you a real-time action. So whenever you perform an action, your list is updated and everything is okay. So run and start. So if we go back, so if I go back now, you can see the request was approved. So if we go back now to that particular request, you cannot approve because it has been approved. Then you can see the comments here. So I think with this, we've come to the end of this session. So if you derive value from this, give it hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and also share. So you can also drop in the comment box any other applications you'd want us to work on or build together. So thank you very much, and do have a great day, everyone. So yeah.